We're live, and it's a lot of wind out here at D23. Sorry, you can start again.
So Ahsoka is arguably the connective tissue in an era of Star Wars.
Yeah.
How's your approach changed since that one episode cameo in The Mandalorian to where you are now in season 2?
It's been such an adventure bringing her to these different challenges and seeing how she's reacted to them. I mean, we've gotten to see that in her since she was a Force-sensitive child, and it's been a test all along the way, and she's gone through a lot. I mean, war as a teenager and trauma and her master becoming a youngling killer, and it's dark. It gets real dark, and I think, you know, as much as this is children's fare, it also, like classic Disney, gets into some pretty emotional and intense storylines, and it makes sense why generations of families have come back to these stories over and over again, because there's something really quite poignant and powerful, and it allows a really interesting conversation. I love that she's at this stage now where she's a master. She's got a Padawan who is as difficult as she was, just as her master was as well when he was a Padawan, and I think that's a beautiful tradition of the perfectly imperfect, you know, being that gets thrust into life and has to make choices every single day how they're going to show up for it. And as the great Stan Lee would say, with great power comes great responsibility. And I think that's really powerfully manifested in Ahsoka's journey. And I'm excited to see the fans' reactions to this next season, because it is that much more dynamic and intense and full on.
More and more danger than I thought.
Every time fans see Anakin, the internet loses its mind.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So when you put on that costume, does it ever dawn on you the impact of your presence on screen?
Thank you. I don't know that I'm so much aware of that. Every time I put on the costume, I feel very fortunate to get to do so. And it's a great character. You know, I feel very lucky to get to play this character, and that I can come back and continue to play this character. And it's really nice that people enjoy it.
I'm always walking by your side.
Can you give fans a little sneak peek of where your character's journey picks up this season?
I think for season 2, a ton of people who grew up with Rebels and Ezra and the whole Rebels squadron are going to be so happy to see Ezra making his way back. He's in the new galaxy. He's getting used to the New Republic, and people have grown up. There are new members in family that he's not familiar with before. And then Ezra's also put in a lot of positions where everything he learned in Rebels as a Jedi Padawan and growing into a commander, and everything he's learned in his time away has to be put to use. There is no other choice. It's a very intense season, but there's a bunch of Ezra antics the whole time as well. He is very much Ezra.
Excuse me, sorry to interrupt, but could we maybe focus a little more on not dying?
We get to see Anakin during the Clone Wars period, and I'm really enjoying getting to explore that side of the character. You know, it's kind of Anakin in his element. And he's not dealing with all of the sort of emotional angst that I got to explore during the prequels. So I've enjoyed that. And also, you know, getting to do Force Ghost Anakin is a blast. The more wise, you know, mature Jedi is an important side of the character too.
It's coming at a stage where we got to see her turn into Ahsoka the White, so she's gotten to heal a few things and face a couple traumas, but that does not mean that the threat is gone. You've got Thrawn on the loose, and you've got them in a very, very, very far away galaxies, and I think it's really exciting that we get to see this version of her, because honestly, Ahsoka has one of the greatest arcs in all of Star Wars history, let alone, I think, sci-fi in general, and I'm just grateful to be able to embody that and take it on as a fan first on. I won't say anything, but I can tell you every single day I'm always like, I get to know this before anyone. I mean, there was one thing I'll say in the final episode, and I'd had a conversation with Dave about it, and he sent me a draft of it that he only sent to me. And I was in tears. Just to be in that position, it was just so special. And now we get to share it with the world. So I hope that you have even a fraction of the reaction that I had, because it's very moving.
Ezra's always been a fan favorite character. What do you want them to feel this season about your character?
I want people to feel that he is growing into the kind of Jedi that Kanan Jarrus would be extremely proud of.
Kanan, I want to become the Jedi you see in me, the one I don't always see in myself.
What have you figured out about Anakin that's not on the page that only you have figured out because you have such a personal connection to who Anakin is?
Yeah, there's lots, and that's for me to know. And yeah, I have a very personal relationship with Anakin. I don't know what I can share that's off script, but yeah, I like it. I like this character.
And are you able to give feedback to the writers?
I don't need to, Dave Filoni, I think, understands this character, in some ways even better than I do. And so when I read the scripts, I'm just elated with what I get to do and say. And that said, he's still very collaborative, and if I have an idea, I'll share it, and if it works, then we'll do it. And so we're not too precious about things, and we get to explore a little bit, but I try to sort of honor, the words that he's written, and I don't need to deviate much.
Could you introduce your friend to us?
This is my little loth cat who's been traveling with me. It's my service animal. It's feral, so be careful. It's got teeth. And this was made by a fan. And I think for me, it's just such an incredible representation of the kind of passion and tenacity and creativity that the fans bring to this and have done for generations that makes it possible for us to be bringing them a second season. And I'm so grateful. And I'm really excited that we get to show some behind the scenes.
Talk to me a little bit about balancing huge fan expectation with trying to create something new and fresh and original with this character.
I am a very fortunate actor. One sec. Dave,
What's up, buddy?
can I ask you something?
What do you want?
Can I ask you something?
What do you want now?
How did you get this super cool hat?
This hat.
Yeah.
This hat was made for me. Yeah. This is a one-of-a-kind hat.
Really?
Yeah.
One of a kind?
Yeah, Mary Zoffrey's made me this hat on Mando Grogu.
It looks one of a
If you
kind.
look in my X-Wing, it's actually over my shoulder.
No! In the back?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
In the cockpit right here. It's right there.
right
Yeah.
I'll move. I gotta get some. There's a
You
hair
get
on your eye.
some? That's thrilling. I'm glad we're filming that.
I'm gonna keep this.
Ezra.
Thank you, Dave.
True to life.
Ask you that. I forgot the last question.
How do you balance fan expectation with doing something new and fresh?
Yeah, so that's why I wanted Dave to come in. You see how relaxed Dave is, how fun he is to hang around. He's like the cool uncle who's also a brilliant mastermind, but he didn't put any of that pressure on me. I never felt like the stakes were so high because Dave would just come up and be like, haha, you're like Ezra. And I'd be like, yes, awesome. If you, Dave Filoni, say that, then I can trust that the fans will feel that. And I'm just so lucky in that regard. I don't think I ever had to feel it, and I don't feel it now because I've got good leadership.